Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is your boy Jay Nacombe back for the second week of the 6 week house flip. Now, for those that don't know, my name is Jay Nacombe, and I've flipped over 200 houses in the past 7 years in Baltimore. And I wanted to do like a little behind the scenes of what I got going on with this latest renovation project. So, this is the second week, right? So if you look at the first episode, this is where I show y'all the progress on the first week, which was the demo. How we opened up the floor plan. We demoed, got started with some of the rough in plumbing and just showed y'all some of the hiccups we encountered and what we actually saw behind the walls, right? Because when you first start a project, you don't really know what's behind those walls until you break them down, right? So this second week, it really gave us the opportunity to really, I would say, just pivot on our plans because one of the biggest hiccups in this project so far is where they ran the original ductwork, right? So they ran the original ductwork in the kitchen, like straight through the kitchen wall that separates the kitchen and the dining room. So right there where I was gonna put the island at. So my first initial thought is, look, we don't really need this, wall anyway. We could just rerun the ductwork, maybe through the joist up top, and just keep it rocking and rolling and keep it moving. So with that bright idea, I reached out to my HVAC contractor. He said, yeah, I could do it. No problem. He gave me a quote. The numbers sounded great. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go. So the morning before the project, he reached out to me and he walked it again. And then he called me. He was like, hey, man, you want to come by so that way we could be on the same page? So we came by. I came by and I basically saw what he was seeing, and we was just looking at the age of the ductwork, and his concern was basically like if he reroutes the ductwork, that it may affect the overall efficiency and the overall output of the unit, and he didn't want to compromise it. So his suggestion and recommendation was to just go ahead, scrap it, and put in a whole brand new system. And of course, that would mean a whole brand new budget because that was gonna be a budget breaker, right? So I thought about it. I slept on it for the night. I thought about it. And I was running it through. I was talking to my realtor. I was talking to a bunch of other people to say like, yo, is it really worth it? Should I do it? Should I do it? And ultimately, it took me a couple of days to come to this conclusion where I'm like, you know what? Nah. Just after looking at the comps in the area and talking to a couple other investors, it's not gonna make sense to reroute the whole thing. So we just gonna go ahead and just keep everything as is. And unfortunately, but fortunately for the budget, we're gonna leave the wall up and just continue to keep rocking and rolling. Now, in the midst of the indecision, right, I got the house broken into by some squatters. I don't know what they was doing, but again, I showed this in the other video where they came in and they cut my coil line for the ductwork for the AC. So now I got to get a new unit, which again wasn't in the budget, but I'm gonna just still cough up the money. It's not as much as if I got the new unit plus the ductwork and everything. It's probably about half of that. But again, it's still a big expense. And that expense is due to a couple of reasons. Just my indecision of me not knowing which way to go. And, the lack of security of properly securing the premises. So those two things cost me some additional funds. And that's where we're at right now. So with that being said, what we ended up doing is for this week, we got finished with the rough in for the electrical. We completely roughed in the plumbing for the washroom, the washer and dryer, the basement bathroom, completely roughed in that as well. And then also we completely roughed in the main full bathroom upstairs. And now as far as reference for the electrical, I got my guy to rough in the recessed lights for the living room and the dining room. And now he has to come back and rough in the basement recessed lights for the it's just for the main living room, and then also run some lines for the washer and dryer. So hopefully that should be done by the end of this week. But so far so good. I like our progress. I think we're still on time. We're a little bit over budget. But hey, we just gonna keep rolling with the punches, and maybe, we could save some money elsewhere from some things that we don't have to do, but I highly doubt that. But you never know. I'm trying to be optimistic, all right? So just stay tuned, and that's pretty much it for week 2, all right? I'll see y'all on week 3. Peace.